guess what? God said, even though you're in a foreign land, that I'm going with you to this foreign land. Even though you may not have your brothers, your sisters, the familiar peoples around you, God said, you don't need that as long as you got down on the inside of you what your Father placed inside of you. Because guess what? Those characteristics, those lessons that he took with him from his Father's house, it carried him through his down season, through his turmoil, through his being sold out of slavery, out of the pit, until this man's house. And God is showing us that in spite of what you're going through, in spite of the season that you're in your life, that he's still able to manifest and set you in a place to where people notice that it is God that is keeping you and it's not you yourself. That even without the coat, that I still can be recognized as a powerful identity in the earth. Yes, I may have a name over here, but I don't need that name. All I need to understand is that he is walking with me, that he is talking with me, that he is causing people to see the greater that's on the inside of me. And guess what? I'm going to continue, listen at this, to be consistent. I'm going to continue to what else? I'm going to have character about what I'm doing. I'm going to make sure that I listen at this. I'm going to keep going to work. I'm going to keep doing what I know to do. Just because the season, just because I haven't gotten to my Shabbat season, don't mean that I can't walk with the authority that Christ has given me. Here's another thing that I want to bring to your attention. Just because the season is not showing you lavish and luxury, don't mean that you don't hold your character. I want to tell you all today in my closing that you got to hold to God's unchanging hand. Yes, seasons are going to change. Yes, you're going to see some highs and you're going to see some lows, and you're going to experience some difficulties. You're going to experience some bereavement, some loss. But I want to encourage you today that if you can hold to God's unchanging hand, that in spite of the season that the enemy is showing you, that God is going to give you victory. He's going to allow people to see how you was really made. And the question I got to ask you, what are you made of? I'm made of a body of believers that have believed enough, that place the word of God in me. I got people that's overseeing me, that continue to put the word of God in me. What are you made of? Because in this season, you got to be made of something to stand for something. If you're not, you're going to fall for anything. So I want you to understand in my closing, three things that you got to recognize when it comes down to recognizing the hand of God. The first thing is that God will always, in spite of the season that you're in, he will position you for greatness. It don't matter what the situation is. It don't matter what you've went through. It don't matter where you are. Just continue to understand that God will position you for greatness. Second thing that I want to share with you is you got to always be able to recognize the shift in your life. We're going to shift from one thing to another. Some seasons we don't qualify for. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm grateful in some seasons that I didn't get what I didn't qualify for, because I would have made a mess of it before I was mature enough to handle that season. Do that make sense? Last thing, and I'm about to close, is that you got to make sure that you understand sometimes God will make sure that you are blessed by association. Listen, we're closing now, but I want you to understand that the Bible made it clear as day to say that the ruler experienced something that he would not have experienced if Joseph was not in his life. And the question I got to ask for you, are you walking that walk to where you can say that your presence is changing lives? I want to encourage you all today. We thank you all. Make sure that you get connected to God. Make sure you stay connected to God. And I want to share this in my closing. God was dealing with me this week, Lindale, and he was sharing with me about the Bible. And so many times we've used the Bible for different things. Some people use it for prosperity. Some people use it for healing.